Hey, it's Cobra here at MaddenGuides.com, and for this Madden 22 defensive plays video breakdown, want to take a look at something I'm going to call box and one defense double edge pressure. And I know what you guys are thinking. You guys are thinking, box and one defense, isn't that a basketball term? And you are 100% correct if you thought that, because that's exactly what it is. However, I want to bring that from the basketball court and bring it onto the Madden cyber football field and use that same concept in this game. And I want to show you a blitz from a defensive play that I actually like quite a bit. And it's kind of unusual when you see this, because I don't think I've even broken any of this down, but I'll tell you what, the dime 146 has a lot of defenses in it where you can bring some nice pressure on the quarterback. And what I want to go ahead and do is show you this defense. Is called a DB Sting 2 Buzz, using the box and one defense. And if you know anything about what the box and one defense is about, it puts one defender in man coverage or guarding the best receiver or something like that. In this case, we're actually just going to guard a running back, but we're going to go ahead and put one defender in man coverage, and then the rest of the defenders are going to be in zone coverage. In a box and one in basketball, you have one defender who's manned up on the best, usually the best shooter, and then they have four defenders that are playing zone. Well, kind of the same idea here. So what I want to do is I want to go ahead and get into this. I think you guys will enjoy this one. So hopefully it's definitely something that's going to work for you, that you guys can apply as another Madden defensive tool that you can use whenever you play your opponent. Before we get to showing the defense, I'm going to go ahead and show you the playbooks that you'll find the particular defense I'm about to show. So the name of the defense again is called Dime 146 DB Sting 2 Buzz. And if you look at the chart there, you can see, or at least the graphic there, you can see all the defensive playbooks. You'll find this one in. And I'm going to go ahead and use this out of the Patriots playbook, but I'm going to go ahead and use the Dallas Cowboys as a team I want to go ahead and use for this video breakdown. Before I get to showing the blitz here, as far as out of the Dime 146 DB Sting 2 Buzz, I want to go ahead and show you the subs that I made. Now, keep in mind, I went in and it went ahead and auto reordered my team here as far as with the Cowboys. And what I want to show you is just a couple subs I'm going to make here. Now, once I auto reorder, it's going to put Parsons lined up right here, which is where I want him at. So he's going to be lined up right here at basically. If you don't do this, it should be your right in, but if you hit the auto reorder, it may maybe put a linebacker there. In my case, it puts Parsons here, which is what I want. Now, what I do need to do is make another change here as far as a sub, because Gregory actually ends up going out, and I don't want Gregory out. I do need to have him in there. So I'm going to go ahead and make this sub real quick, and I'm going to go ahead and put him here. And the reason is because I like Gregory in at that spot, because it gives me another really nice pass rusher that might be able to get some inside pressure if I ever needed it. I mean, another option with me, to be honest with you, if I wanted to, I could go back down here. The other option here with the Cowboys, and just keep this in mind, and again, this is up to you guys. You could put this guy right here, which is Bosham. If you're using the Cowboys, he's an 82 speed. You can move him in there as well if you want. Now, that's up to you. I'm just going to go ahead and leave Gregory in there, but everything else looks pretty good as far as what I'm going to do with this particular defense. And I want to show you one other thing with this one. Again, this is up to you guys. It's got Diggs lined up right here at the nickel back, or at least a dime back position here inside, which is fine if you want to use him, because he's actually going to be bringing some pressure on the quarterback, which is, you know, a little bit different than maybe some of the other things that you might see. You think of him more as as far as a coverage corner. But at any rate, I'm going to go ahead and leave him there. But again, that's up to you guys. If you guys want to make those type of subs, I just want to show that. And one of the things I do want to point out with Parsons lined up here, what I want to suggest to you is at least have a fast linebacker at this position. It doesn't matter if he's, you know, an X factor or anything like that, or if he can pass rush. It really don't matter. The main thing you're looking for here is speed. So if you got a fast defender here, you definitely would like to have him at this position. So I'm going to show you why when we get into the setup. All right, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and run this against the gun bunch formation, seeing that that's one of the most popular formations. For right now, I'm going to go ahead and use the spacing switch play. This is going to send everybody out. I am going to leave the running back in the pass block at some point, because I want to show you what happens when he stays in the pass block with this blitz, and I can promise you still get pressure on a quarterback, which is really nice. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go into this, and I want to go ahead and show you how this is going to work. And again, I think you guys are going to find this one pretty interesting as far as bringing some pressure on a quarterback, as far as the way I'm going to do this. So let's go ahead and get into it and take a look at it. So here's the defense. As you look at it, you've got a cover 2 defensive shell. You got 2 defenders playing 2 deep coverage, which is nice as far as with the coverages. And you got your safeties playing the 2 deep, as I mentioned. And you got your 2 corners playing the flats out there in zone coverage. And then underneath here as well, you're going to have a couple other defenders that are going to be playing these hook zones as you look at it. So we've got these 2 defenders right here playing hook zones, which again is fine. Now, I will tell you this, I'm not going to show you another setup you can do with this one because I want to just get right into it. But there's some other things you can do with this particular defense that can bring some different types of pressure depending on how you want to go about it. For this setup, I'm going to go ahead and show you the way I like to run it, at least for this video breakdown. So let's go ahead and do this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and tap the R1 RB button, and then I'm going to go ahead and shift the defense by pinching it down. And you're going to notice you're going to get some shifting between the defenders right there, and that's what you want. Now, Parsons is going to be lined up here in this spot as you look at it. Notice he's playing a vertical hook. Now, I do not want him in that position. I need to have him in that. Remember we talked about the box and one. What we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and put him in man coverage on the running back. And I'm going to show you here and just why here in just a bit, because this is kind of important, because this is going to allow you to still get pressure even if the running back stays in the pass block. In another video breakdown, I talked about still get pressure on a quarterback even if the running back stays in the pass block, and that's with a man defense. Well, here we got a zone defense, so we're going to use that same concept as far as getting pressure on the quarterback, but we're going to do it from a zone defense. So that's what I want to point out there. If you guys haven't had a chance to check out that video, I'll put a link in here in the description, and definitely check that out because it's something you definitely want to watch, because I go pretty in depth to why it works and everything. So at any rate, let's go on to the next thing right here. What you want to do is just switch over to this guy right here. Now notice this is going to be a defensive end. In my case, it's DeMarcus Lawrence. Now, I did not sub him out. Now I could have, but keep in mind, this is not the only pass rush or the only defense I run from the dime 146. So that's the reason I didn't put a linebacker in at that spot. I'm going to leave him there, even though it's a defensive end. The next thing I want to do is I want to slide him over into this position right here to the inside. Now at this point, I guarantee it, we're probably going to get definitely going to get some edge pressure. In most cases, it should come from this guy right here, which is going to be Diggs. And more than likely, it's going to come from this guy on the other side, the other dime back on the other side. You'll at least get one in for sure. If the running back's going out, you may get both, and you may get double edge pressure. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and snap it in just a second. The only other thing I want to point out, once this ball is snapped, you're going to want to drop this guy back and try to take away anything over the short middle of the field. And you can see the coverages are, they're a little questionable because you only got 5 defenders dropping back in zone, but you do have that one defender and it's in man coverage. So there's where you get the box and one. You get one defender in man coverage, and then you get the other defenders playing zone. Basically, just like basketball, you get one defender in man, and you get the other 4 defenders on the basketball court playing zone defense. So it's kind of the same idea, but we're just applying it here into football on the football field. So let's go ahead and run this and take a look at it. And then right there, you guys can see right there, we get the pressure off the edge right there. Like I said, you may not always get the double edge pressure, but you're certainly going to at least get one guy in, and he's always going to get in. In that case, a lot of time it's going to come from that nickel back or dime back coming off from the left side of the offensive line. So that's one thing I wanted to point out with that. Let's go ahead and do it again here and take a look at it. And I'll do it one more time for you guys. So we'll do the setup real quick. So let's go back into the spacing switch play, the same play we've been running as far as on the offense, and then the DB sting 2 buzz out of the dime 146. So again, what we're going to do is do this. We're going to go ahead and pinch the defense, and then we're simply going to switch off to Parsons. We're going to put him in man coverage, and then we're going to slide Lawrence into the inside here and see if we can get some pressure off, some double edge pressure here. Again, you may not always get it, but if you do, it's great. If you don't, then it is what it is. And right there, you actually saw at that time, he was actually going to come in. He kind of hesitated, and then he finally went in. But we did get the single pressure off the edge. And I want to show you something else with this. If you look at it, as far as we'll go in instant replay. So keep in mind, again, I'm in control of this guy right here on the defensive side of the ball. This is the one I'm in control of. And then I'm looking to get pressure from these 2 guys right here. Now, whether or not I always get it, that's a whole nother, ball of wax. But right there, you can see, as you watch, here he comes. As far as that other defender over here, he's coming in. He's just kind of stopped for a second, and then he's coming in. So if your opponent, for example, say he tries to do this before he gets sacked and tries to roll out, well, a lot of cases, this defender here is going to be in position to get to him and possibly sack him anyway. So just keep that in mind. As you look, the other thing I want to point out, let's look at this right here. This is what I was talking about earlier with the man coverage. See how Parsons right here is going out. Let's go ahead and zoom in just a little bit on him. You can see, let's go ahead and just do this real quick. See how he steps up initially? He gets blocked just for a split second, but then he goes back and drops back. And then he goes into man coverage. And as you look at it, now he's in man coverage on the running back. As you watch here, as you watch out here, you're going to see he's in man coverage right here on the running back. And there he goes in man coverage. So if our opponent was to try to make a quick throw, which is fine, because keep in mind, we're also in cover 2. So we've got this defender here playing the flat, and he's going to be in this area. So if they do try to throw a quick pass, we still have the running back covered. And then, of course, as I talked about earlier, we have this guy in man coverage. Let's go ahead and do it this time where we do the same setup here. I want to try to do something. I'm going to show you guys a little bit more on this, and then I'm going to get into it where the running back stays in the pass block. But I want to show that too, because that's kind of important as far as with the setup. So let's go ahead and do this right here and go ahead and do the same setup. And you can see this one's pretty easy to set up too. It doesn't really require a lot of time. I'm already set up. It's already to go. As far as with the setup, I'm just going to slide him into the inside. And this time, guys, I'm going to go ahead and just do this. I'm actually going to throw to the running back this time, and I want you guys to watch what will happen. And see, I got 2 guys out there, and I'm not too concerned as far as with that running back catching it. And the other thing is, if they would have, let's go back in here again. Another thing here, you guys are probably noticing too, I'm doing this a little bit different than what I traditionally do as far as breaking down these plays, because a lot of times I'll use the same team. I thought I'd just be a little different today and go ahead and use 2 different teams here rather than just using the Cowboys as far as on the defensive side of the ball. Hey, while we're doing this, let me go ahead and do this real quick. I'm going to go ahead and just throw a quick pass play here. If I'm going to do this, I don't want to have to punt it, so I'm going to go ahead and just do this real quick. If you're labbing and you're doing it this way like I'm doing here, then what you want to do when you get to 4th down, you're going to want to just do this real quick. That way you can keep labbing the same thing over and over and over, which is right there. All right, so let's go ahead and make sure we get the 1st down. And then we're going to go back into this defense again. So let's go back into it again, the same setup. And I'm going to show it to you guys real quick here. So let's go back into it. And something else I want to point out too, a lot of times when I'm doing these breakdowns, I'll go right to my recent plays because it's going to be the same plays over and over and over that I'm going to use. And that way I don't have to keep trying to find it. So I'm going to go back into the recent plays. There you go right there. That's the easiest way to do that. It's just a quick little tip for you guys. All right, so there you are. Same. Let's go into that same setup. Again, we're going to go ahead and put Parsons into the covering a running back, slide this guy over. All right, for this one, I'm actually going to try to throw I'm going to go ahead and put the running back not on the swing route. I'm going to have him run a, let's have him run a kind of a wheel route, not a wheel route, but a streak, our seam route down the left seam right there. So we're going to hot route him on that. Now watch what happens when I do this. You know, I still get coverage right there, which is nice. So that running back's going to be covered. So we got the box and one, he's going to be covered in most cases. So I just want to point that out to you. Don't worry about the running back. He's pretty much taken out for the most part. He should be, especially if you got a really good defender covering such as Parsons. All right, so next thing we're going to do is we're going to go into actually where I show you with the running back staying in the pass block this time. And that's one of the things I've been trying to do in my video breakdowns. As far as what I've been doing, I'm trying to show you guys what happens if the running back stays in the pass block, if he goes out and you still get pressure, and that's the idea of this. So let's go back into the spacing switch, back into the same defense here on the same defense side of the ball that we've been doing. And this is why you want to hot route Parsons or the linebacker into man coverage. This is exactly why, because you're going to see here in a second. So there that is right there, right? He's in man coverage. We're going to slide him over. I'm going to go ahead and hot route the running back to stay in the pass blocker. So my opponent's kind of got wise to it. He thinks he can stop my blitz. Well, he's going to have a whole nother thing coming at him because I'm still going to get pressure regardless. So here's the running back staying in the pass block. Let's go ahead and zoom in so you guys can see it. He's staying in right there as you look at it. So we're going to go ahead and run this, and I guarantee it, we're still going to get pressure on the quarterback. So let's go ahead and run it and take a look and see what kind of action we get here as far as with this defense here. So I'm going to go ahead and be in control. Lawrence, I'm just going to drop him back, and then there we go. We still got pressure, and this time it came off from the other side. So you're going to get pressure regardless. One or the other guys are going to get in. If you look, you're going to find, let's go ahead and take a look at this in instant replay. You're still going to get pressure, and it doesn't matter if they leave that running back in the pass block or not, because it's still going to come off that edge there. All right, so there's the running back. He decides to go ahead and take Diggs coming off this side of the ball, off the left side, but then no one's accounting for this guy over here who's coming off the edge over there, and that's right there, and you still get the pressure. Now, the reason that we hot routed, and this is what I talked about in that breakdown I did about how to still get pressure on the quarterback despite the running back staying in the pass block, is this guy right here. because once the ball is snapped, if the running back does not go out and he stays in the pass block, then that defender right there will not drop back into QB spy. A lot of times you'll find when you do this and the running back stays in the pass block, this guy's going to drop back, or some of the other defenses out there you're going to find in the game, or other defenders that are on the field, are going to play QB spy. But this particular defender right here does not do that. He actually rushes the quarterback. So what happens is with him rushing, then he takes up somebody. In this case, he's going to take up the left guard right there, such as you see on your screen. And then there's your running back. Again, as I pointed out earlier, he's going to block over here, but no one accounts for this over here. So what we've done here, as you look at your screen, we've eliminated one player, which is going to be the running back. And our opponent, as you look at it, he has 4 defenders or 4 receivers going out versus our 5 defenders. So we still have the numbers as far as with coverage goes. We still have 5 guys. And as far as the box and one, this is where we get the box and one, or at least where I came up with the idea when I decided to go ahead and describe this to you guys, is that as you look at it, I'm going to go ahead and kind of just show it to you here. So the box and one came up when I came up with the idea. If you kind of look at it, and this is about not a perfect box or by any means right here, but there's our box. I guess if you really think about it, it's more of a rectangle, but that's it. There's the rectangle, the box, whatever you want to call it, our box and one, because we have 4 to 5 defenders playing some type of zone coverage, and then we have that other defender who's in man coverage, even though in this particular thing I'm showing here, he's actually rushing the quarterback, but he's in man coverage on that running back. Let's do that one more time here. So let's go back into here again, and same thing. This time we'll let the running back go out, and then you can see how easy this defense is to set up. It's pretty easy. This time let's go with the same setup again, and then we'll just do this. Here's our double edge pressure. And then right there, you can see the coverage is pretty good. All right, so that's it as far as that. As you look at it, I'm going to go ahead and show you the box and one more time. We'll look at it because I want to show you with the running back going out, so you guys can kind of see where I got the idea of calling this box and one. All right, so there's the, if you guys look at it, here it is. Here's the box right here. Those 4 defenders, as you look at it, they are in some type, or 5 defenders, these guys are going to be in some type of zone coverage. Then we got this one defender right there who's in man coverage. So there's my box and one. That's where I got the idea at. I just wanted to point that out to you guys as far as the way I came up with this. So at any rate, guys, I hope this one helps you guys out. It's certainly a defense worth taking a look at. I did want to show one more thing, if you guys don't mind. I'm going to go ahead and show this to you guys real quick. And I'm going to go back in here. I was going to end this video, but I do want to point out one last thing. So let's go back in here and back to the spacing switch. With this particular defense, if you want, I was going to do this in another video breakdown, but I'll make a really quick little thing about it. You can go into your coaching adjustments. And I know a lot of the defenses, especially when I'm doing the manual pass rush that I like to do, where I have the manual pass rush, where I have the hard flats and I do the manual rush that way. If you do this, that's going to take that out unless you just reset the defense, and then you can go back and still do it. However, if you want, you can go into these zone drop flats and drop them back 30 yards. And then what that's going to do is put these guys more or less, if you think about it, it's kind of like a hybrid cover 4 in a sense, because you got 2 corners that are dropping all the way back, and then you got your 2 safeties. Now, of course, the flats are going to be left open, but keep in mind, you still got that, you still got that defender, the linebacker, covering the running back as he comes out of the backfield. So that's one of the things you can do. I'm going to go ahead and run it just one more time and just show you guys that idea, what I'm trying to show here. So let's go back in here and we'll finish up this video with this right here and leave this, something that you guys can kind of think about when you guys are running this. All right, there he is right there as you look at it. This time I'm going to do some hot routing here a little bit. I'm going to send this receiver on a streak. I'm going to go ahead and send this other receiver on a, I'll go ahead and send this other receiver on a streak as well. So I got those receivers running streaks. And then let's take a look at the defense one more time here as far as with what we got. And then right there. Now you can tell one of the things with me, I try to think outside the box when I do these breakdowns. I don't follow the click that's going on here with the meta and all that crazy stuff. Everybody else runs that stuff. That's great. I'm going to throw some different stuff in at you guys that maybe you guys haven't seen before. That's what I'm trying to do here. I don't want to be like everybody else. I want to do some different things and, get your mind spinning. So at any rate, that's what I'm doing here with this video. And as you look at it, it's that same setup. I'm going to go ahead and just kind of just throw this deep and just see what happens here. But I want you guys to watch those corners out there on the outside. See how they go deep, and they ain't gonna be able to throw that deep. And as you look at it, the running back was still fairly covered pretty good by that linebacker that sent out to the outside as you watch that. Let's go ahead and look at this real quick, and then we'll get out of this video breakdown, guys, as far as what we're doing here. And then that'll be the end of it as far as with this one. Let's go look at the instant replay just real quick. And then, like I said, we'll be out of this video. All right, there you guys go. As you look at it, they're dropping back. Look at those two corners on the outside now. So this is something else you can throw in there. And then you also have, you got these two safeties playing too deep. So you basically got something like this where you more or less have a coverage like this. You got this guy dropping, you got this guy dropping, you got this guy dropping, you got this guy dropping. And then keep in mind, I wasn't able to control him because I was controlling the offensive side of the ball, but you still got that other defender where he's going to take away anything underneath the short area in this area here, especially if you got really good user stick, you can take stuff away there. And then as I pointed out earlier, as you look at this guy coming out of the backfield, the running back, he's covered by this guy right here. So you got a nice little defense here, and plus you just got some pressure on the quarterback. And as you look at it, we're getting some nice double-edged pressure again. As I pointed out here, you got this guy coming off, sorry about that. You got this guy coming off the edge still, and then you still got this guy over here. If the opponent, as I pointed out earlier in the video breakdown, if he was to run, you still got that guy over there to kind of take that away just in case. All right, guys, that's it for this breakdown. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Again, I'm thinking outside the box when I do this. So I'm kind of, as I said before, I kind of thought about this when I used to play basketball. I thought, let's try to apply this into football. So this one is called the Dime 146 DB Sting 2 Buzz Box and One Defense Double Edge Pressure.